Dude, such a weird time to be a coach right now. It certainly has been very interesting for us coaches. Some of us have been doing ridiculously well for the past couple of months when this pandemic has happened. And unfortunately, some coaches have disappeared. You just don't see them anymore. You don't know what happened to them. And there is a lot of confusion around what's next, like what's going to happen now, like what now? Do we still need to pivot? Do we need to do something else? How do we prepare for what's about to come? Is it good? Is it bad? What do we do right now to take advantage of the opportunities that are around us? What are even the opportunities that are around us? Like everybody's talking about like these opportunities, but what are they? Like what's going on? What do I do now? Like before we knew we had to pivot because of the pandemic, but do we still need to pivot? Like what's going on? Well, here's what I do know. I do know that if you don't pivot, then you're just not going to be relevant anymore. You're going to be outdated. And if you're outdated and no longer relevant in the prospect eyes, they're going to ignore you. And the worst thing that could happen to a coach is putting content out there, trying to help other people, and you being ignored all the time, over and over and over. And eventually, that's going to lead to you not getting enough clients in, your current clients leaving, and potentially even you being out of business 2 to 3 months from now, or maybe 3 or 4 months from now, right? So that's what's going to happen if you're not pivoting. But what if we could pivot and change the way our messaging is right now, just change it a tiny bit so it lands the right way with the clients, so it gets their attention, so that you're no longer outdated or irrelevant. You're actually super relevant and the guy to go to solve the current problems, not the future problems, but the current problems. Instead of having people ignore you, your potential customers ignoring you, how about if they just came to you, if they rushed to get your help? Because they know you're in here stepping up for them to help them, and you have the right solution for the problem. You're the man with the plan, or the woman with the plan, right? You have a plan to solve them, to solve their current problems. Again, the current problems, not the future problems. If that does happen, what I do know is that in the next 2 to 3 months, the things that you do, if you do the right things at the right time, if you pivot the right way, it's going to set you up for the next 2 to 3 years, dude. You're going to do ridiculously well. The momentum is going to carry you forward. The next 2 to 3 months is crucial, especially right now, because of the unique position that we are in as coaches. So let me actually show you this. I think you're going to super appreciate this. In any pandemic, there are really 3 stages. And I'm going to show it to you this way. There are really 3 stages to any pandemic. The first one is before the pandemic happens, but you know it's coming. This is like in our example, if I wanted to give you an example, this would be 2019, end of 2019 or beginning of 2020. This is where people were, prep for what's about to come, So we were just getting ready for this pandemic thing. It was probably early 2020 where we realized that, hey, this COVID-19 thing is going to have a massive impact, and it's probably going to impact my business as well as a coach. I should probably do something. So this was the first pivot that we needed to make to kind of prepare for what's about to come. The next phase is when the dragon is already here, dude, like the problem is already here. You're not preparing for it anymore. You are trying to deal with it. And this is 2020, probably second quarter of 2020, where, things were at its worst. Everybody was locked down around the globe. All the businesses were shut down. Clients were leaving. People were, the ones that were supposed to sign up, they no longer signed up because of the things that were happening. You lost revenue, you lost clients, you were confused. You didn't know what to do. And everything was at the worst it could possibly be for everybody around the world. In here, this is where you slay the dragon. My handwriting is amazing. This is where you slay the dragon. This is where you deal with the problem now because it's already here. You're not preparing for it anymore. So that's another pivot that I needed to make. And then eventually we're going to get to a place where, things are going to start getting better. They're going to start looking like maybe we are recovering, maybe we are bouncing back up, maybe we are rebuilding. And that's eventually going to come. I think if nothing bad happens again, maybe if there is no second wave, or if, you know, aliens don't come down and, you know, we find out that there are freaking aliens around, if nothing crazy like that happens, most likely in 2021, that's when we are bouncing back up fast. And this is where it's time to break the records. This is time to not only just build, but rebuild even better, to do even better than before. Go even higher, like break those ceilings, like do even better, put new limits for yourself. This is a time to go all in, right? Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's too late to pivot, like the boat has already sailed, you shouldn't pivot. What you need to understand is that it's not just one pivot that you need to make. During any pandemic, especially for this one, you have three major pivots that you need to make. I'm not saying there is not more than 3 pivots. There obviously is. There are small pivots that I need to make during these journeys over here. But I'm talking about the 3 biggest pivots that if you miss them, you're in trouble, right? Let me just show you where those are. The first one is before the pandemic happened, but you knew it was coming and you had to prepare for it. Maybe you had a couple of weeks to pivot really fast and kind of adjust everything that you do in the business. That was the biggest pivot that a lot of people missed. And they were in trouble because of what was coming next, you know, caused them to lose a lot of clients, a lot of revenue, and they were in deep trouble. The second one was when the dragon was already here, when the pandemic was already here, when everything was a mess, people were panicking, things were going bad. And that was the second pivot that we needed to make. It wasn't a tiny adjustment, it was a huge adjustment. It wasn't no longer preparing for it, it was actually dealing with the problem as it's happened. And then the third biggest pivot is when things are getting better. Right now, the world is at different stages, right? Some people are still in the red because things are happening, like USA or Russia. And other countries like Australia or UK or I don't know, other countries, other cities where they're doing much better than, let's say, USA, where they're not in the green, but they're not in the red either. They're kind of in the middle. They're kind of in the transitioning mode right here. And a lot of countries are in that transitioning mode between, hey, this pandemic thing is really a problem. Right now we're burning down and kind of like we're bouncing back up. So we are in between there. Now, here's what's going to happen right now. And here's why it's super important for you to know this. During this transition, you most likely, by the way, when we're talking about this transition, you shouldn't be thinking about where you are located, where your house is, like where everything is going on around you. You should be thinking about what's going on around the people who are your potential clients. So you could be located in Australia where everything is good, but if your potential clients are in USA, you shouldn't behave as if everything is okay, because it certainly is not for your clients. And us coaches, we're not in this to help ourselves. We are in this to help our clients. So everything we do has to be around their situation, not our situation. Super important. So where they are along this graph, whether it's orange, red, or green, or the yellow one, it's them, not you. Super important for you to know, okay? Now, depending on where they are, there are really 3 things you could do as a coach. The first one is coaches who do nothing. These are the coaches who go back into their cave. These are the coaches that go into a cave. These are the coaches that they become silent. They don't say anything. They don't help their clients because they're confused. They're scared themselves, and they're just trying to survive. And the unfortunate thing about this is that 2 or 3 months from now, they're going to be most likely out of business. They're going to disappear, just like how many coaches have already disappeared, unfortunately. So these are the first group. The second group are the ones that are going to do something. You know, they're not staying quiet. They don't know what to do. They're kind of confused. They're scared too, but at least they're trying to take action. right? And these are the people who have a lot of ups and downs during the past few months, and they're probably going to continue to have a lot of ups and downs within the next few months. And they might even take advantage of some opportunities, or they may miss all of them. The fact is they're taking some action, they're doing something, they do something, but either the timing is wrong or the things they're doing is not the right things, is not the right pivot, or is not the right way of pivoting. So they're going to be okay. They're not going to go out of business, but they're going to be great. Like, they're not going to be great. They're going to be okay. And then we have a very rare group of people. These are the people that not only they pivot the right way, like they do the right things, but also they pivot on time. What do I mean by this? Let's go over here again. Every single one of these pivots, number 1, number 2, and number 3, let me color them for you. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. These pivots are different kinds of pivots, okay? These are different kinds of pivot. You can't do them in the wrong order. For example, when you're preparing, like you're in the orange, you're preparing for this pandemic to happen, and you do the things you're doing when everything is recovering, you're too early. Like if you do it that way, you lost. You might be doing the right things, but wrong timing, you're dead. If right now you're pivoting and you're pivoting in a way that you should have pivoted back here, the boat has already sailed, dude. You're too late. Like, even if you pivot, you're still going to be ignored. You're still going to be outdated, right? So pivoting the right way and also at the right time, super, super crucial. And this group of people, they get their timing right. And that's where I want you to be. I want you to be one of these people that not only do the right things, but they get the right timing as well. And let's take a look at it right here. Right now, the gap between the people who are going to disappear, they go back to the caves, or the people who are going to crush it, despite the things that are going around us, is very small. The gap between these people is tiny. You can change your path really easily. 2 to 3 months from now, the gap is huge. Changing your path and closing this gap is not an easy task. It may not even be possible. So right now is the time for you to change. Right now is the time for you to pivot the right way, the right pivot at the right time, and also the time for you to go all in. This is no time for you to be on defense. You need to be on offense. This is the time to go all in your coaching business, because if you do, the rewards are going to be ridiculously well, especially if you take advantage of the opportunities. Again, take advantage of the opportunities. Don't miss them, but do not take advantage of people. Don't be a dick. Don't be a bad guy. Be a good guy, but do take advantage of the opportunities. Taking advantage of opportunities is nothing bad. It's all like, it's good things. Taking advantage of people, not okay. Okay, so definitely take advantage of opportunities, not people. Now, here's what I decided to do. I think right now, a lot of coaches, what they struggle with is leads. Quite frankly, if they had, I don't know, 100 leads come to them, they could probably turn 1 or 2 of those leads into paying clients, which would help them tremendously. And if they could just have 100 leads coming in every single week or every single month consistently, then at least they know if they do these things, they're going to have a consistent flow of clients coming in because the system works. And for the past couple of months, I've been super, super busy and focused with my clients, making sure that they're okay, making sure that they're pivoting the right way. But I think right now, they're all at a really, really good place. They know exactly what they're doing, and we're going to continue to support them the same way that we were before. We doubled down on our support. I think it's time for you, my friend. I think it's time for us to do a challenge together, a 100 lead challenge, a challenge where we're going to work together and we're going to do everything we could possibly do to get you 100 leads. And I want the challenge to be for free. I don't want anybody to pay for this to get the leads. No, I want us to work together for free to get 100 leads, and hopefully you can turn those leads into paying clients. If you have a good system for your conversion, that this is going to be ridiculously well for you. But even if you don't have a good system for conversion, turning 1 or 2 people into paying clients out of 100 should be easy walk in the park. It should be that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a 100 lead challenge very, very soon. I'm not going to give you a date for it. I'm going to update everybody inside our private Facebook group called High Income Coaches. That's where the challenge is going to take place. So if you're not part of the High Income Coaches group, this is the perfect time for you to join, because we're going to do the challenge there. And if you're already part of the group, then that's perfect. I will tag you under the post. That's going to give you all of the details on how to join the challenge. Unfortunately, we can't do it with like hundreds of people. It has to be a limited number of people, because I want to be engaged with every single one of you to make sure that you get those 100 leads. So the spots are going to be limited, but it's free and it's for everybody. So as long as you're a coach and you need more leads, you're more than welcome to join the private Facebook group and join the challenge. It's going to be ridiculous well. So if you would like to join the challenge, if you do need more leads, just comment down below challenge. And if you're inside the Facebook group, then I'll give you the details when it's ready. And if you're not, then I'll give you the link to join our private Facebook group called High Income Coaches. Now, if you know any other coaches, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a colleague, somebody that you know, and they need more leads in their business, they could probably use, and like 100 leads could probably do really good for them, then invite them. Invite them to either this video, tag them down below, or just invite them to a Facebook group when you get in, so they too can join the challenge with you. With that being said, it was a pleasure talking to you guys. I will see you inside the Facebook group. See you later. Bye-bye.